are the main things. If you go to our strategic plan 2023-2027, we have what we call the key resource areas. And ultimately, the first one is advanced technology and innovation, which align with what we are doing today. We have research and community service. We have issues to do with people focus. Remember, we have our students, we have our staff, we have the community that we are interacting with. We have the sharing of knowledge and how are we interacting with industry. I would say Professor Mark Silver did a very good job there. For the last 2 years he has been here because we have been bringing industrial players to the university and interacting with the university community, that's the students and even the staff. Whatever we do, the processes we are taking, we are saying they must be environmentally and economically sustainable. And that's why thinking about it would like a situation whereby our university will be largely independent in a way that the alumni and well-wishers and the industrial players are coming in and filling the gap, and we are taking research. We are commercializing our innovation like we normally have in Europe and other developed countries. So that is always our goal. And lastly, we always think about teaching, learning, and also creative art. So that is, I thought I should bring that one up, so that we appreciate whatever we are doing today anchors very well within our strategic plan. And now it is my pleasure now to welcome the French ambassador, His Excellency Arnold Sequet. Please, sir. Thank you.
Asante Bwana DVC, mwakilishi VC, viongozi wote wa chuo cha Nairobi, Balozi Philip Tigo, rafiki yangu, walimu wa wanafunzi wote, habari za mchana. Kwanza, mimi nafurahi kwa kurudi chuo cha Nairobi. Leo ni siku muhimu sana kwa sababu tulikuwa pamoja leo kwa strategia mpya wa Kenya kwa mambo ya akili bandia, Prof. And let me say a big congratulations for Kenya to have adopted this strategy this morning, which is, I think, the fruit of large deliberation involving public participation, gathering all stakeholders. And I'm not a specialist neither on AI nor on strategy, but I'm told by various experts that this is a state-of-the-art strategy that contains all the elements to move Kenya forward in this world. It will be key to implement it, but at that stage, let me say a big thanks and a big congratulations to Kenya for having adopted this strategy. Earlier this year, France has hosted, and it was alluded by the DVC, an international summit on action on AI in Paris. And Kenya played a leading role and actually has exerted a leadership role thanks to Ambassador Tigo and the ICT Minister, William Kabogo. The aim of this meeting, I think, as you could see, was to craft a third way between various blocks. But the aim was also to have this balancing act between innovation and regulation. Because at the end of the day, what is important from a policy perspective is the usage of AI. It needs to serve the global public, to be inclusive, and as we say in France, it's tech for good. So we want to bring also a human element, bringing positive impact to the society as we use AI, and I think this summit was instrumental. Balozi Tigo will say all the various commitments that Kenya has taken during this summit. But let me say that Kenya was very, very visible and active, I think, exerting leadership, not only in Africa, but a global leadership. So thank you for that also. And then I don't want to be too long because we're not here to listen to policy speeches, but to get enlightened about what is AI. I just want to say, when it comes also to Kenya, France and Kenya, I think, are making a joint investment in human capital. Because there's no AI if you don't train, if you don't educate people, and if you don't understand AI. And so that's why I'm very happy to be here today at the University of Nairobi, because both France and Kenya have engaged in this very substantial partnership within the University of Nairobi, within the complex of science and engineering. And we are together, kuungana mikono pamoja, for building this Silicon Savannah and this innovation park. And I think it is a true testament of our partnership between France and Kenya. We want to exchange practices, we want to exchange solutions, we want to share the science together in order to equip, and I would say both, because I think it's not a top-down, I think it's a two-way street. Kenya being also a technological hub, we have to learn also from solutions that will emanate here from Kenya. And so we want together to equip the young generation with the proper skills to enter in the job market and the new jobs that will build and design the world of tomorrow. So with those few words, I also want to acknowledge the presence of Professor Frédéric Pascal, who is the head of the Paris School of AI, which is the best we have in our country. And so when we talk about AI, we said we'll bring the best expert from France with the best expert in Kenya, and then we can nurture innovation together. So asante sana, tuendelee kufanya kazi pamoja.
All right, thank you very much, our DVC and our distinguished His Excellency the Ambassador, for those good words. Yes, so I'd like now to invite our first speaker, who is Professor Waema, who is also my colleague at the Department of Computing and Informatics, and he was one who has led that Kenya AI strategy. So he can tell us a little more about what the policy level has for us as academia, if we can use the skills that we've just heard about to use AI for our development.
Thank you. All protocols duly observed. Good afternoon. I gave my presentation and I was told it was be projected. Not that. Oh, it is projected. Oh. Okay, and I have got this gadget here which can move the slides. I was telling the ambassador when we were meeting somewhere that akili bandia is not a very nice. Well, the correct Swahili word is akiliunde. But that is neither here nor there. But for somebody from France to have this much Kiswahili, I am very impressed. Okay, this is for me is to give you just a flavor of the strategy we are launching this morning. Ambassador was there, Professor was there, Ambassador Figo was there, and maybe some of you other people were there as well. This is something that we've been doing for the last almost 1 year with a big team of people. And I will give you a flavor of what we are doing. We are not the first country to develop AI strategy. A lot of countries, I know in government circles, they say policy comes before strategy. And they are always looking for policy. Where is the policy? Where is before you tell us about strategy? But AI is coming with such huge impacts policy processes take a long time. Policy processes take a long time. And we need to have some things that we can implement and take advantage of the opportunities that AI offers to our country. And therefore, you can see in some dark colors, this one is not resolving the colors very well. The ones which are dark are the ones that have developed strategy. And those are about 15 countries in Africa. Already they have developed, they have launched their AI strategy. And this is in the space of the last 1 year and a half. Kenya, we started, by the time we started early last year in April, we had about 6 countries that had developed, and we thought we would be the 7th country. But in the process, others have done it. So Kenya now becomes dark, it is green. As you can see there, it is green, it is green. These are the ones that are discussing and developing. And these are another 7 countries. Globally, there is another 60 or so countries that have moved and developed strategy for AI. So that is where we are. And this thing is not moving anymore, or do I need to? It was moving before. Where is the computer? Can somebody move it then if this thing doesn't work? Oh, there you are. Okay. Go back. Please go back. Okay. This is what we have done. We started in April last year. We started with the first workshop, and Ambassador Figo was there. He was the one who made the first speech, the keynote speech. He was also there in the second workshop, also in April. And we can see the participants there. We had lots of people who participated in this process, largely discussing what are our challenges, what do we want to do with AI. Then we went for a retreat in the Great Rift Valley Lodge in Naivasha, where we had more than 90 people, 90 to 100 people for 1 whole week. We defined our vision, we defined our guiding principles, we defined what it is that we are going to do, the opportunities, the challenges which we are facing, and so on and so forth. And then we started collecting data, getting the views of different people, government officers, private sector people, NGOs, and so on and so forth. And that went on for 2 months. And of course, at that time, we were also reviewing relevant documents, policy documents and other global documents. But we had very interesting focus group discussions, private sector oriented, government oriented. We would create different groups and discuss the issues, what do they want to do with AI. And then we had town halls in our innovation centers. We had a town hall in Mombasa in one of our innovation centers. We had a town hall in Eldoret, in Kisumu, in Nairobi, and several other innovation centers. And what we did, we asked those people to invite Kenyans to come and say, what do they want from AI? Ordinary Kenyans, even people who are developing technology. We invited them. And therefore, we were very exhaustive. And then we went into processes of developing strategy in September, October, November. And then around November, then we started now validating this with different stakeholders. And we started with government stakeholders. We had a workshop where we presented what seems to be coming out to the government. And finally, we had a validation workshop where we invited our Wanjiko, we call Wanjiko the ordinary Kenyan, to come and say, to listen to the strategy and tell us what they think. The other one, this is a slide I use in my classes when I'm talking about strategy. And when we are developing strategy, we normally say we are somewhere which is not very nice where we are, and we want to move to a better place in the future over a time period. Could be 5 years, in this case it is 5 years. And we are, in terms of value, like for example, what value we are deriving from AI is very low at the moment. We have very few applications of AI. But in future, we want to get to a level where AI is playing a huge role in our country, whether in terms of jobs, contribution to GDP, and so on and so forth. And therefore, this is the change we want to create with respect to the role AI can play in our country. And that change is normally expressed in terms of results or outcomes. And those outcomes are things like the impact, the positive impact on economic growth, public sector efficiency, local AI innovation and creating businesses, enhanced national competitiveness, and all these kind of issues. So these are the kind of, so strategy is about making that transition from this state to this state in future with a vision. Now, the rationale, of course, the rationale for developing this strategy, the positive impact on the economy is one of the drivers, whether it is in terms of improving efficiency, whether it is productivity, or we are talking about making Kenya more competitive in the global scene and creating jobs. The second reason is public sector efficiency. AI has been seen, has been applied in public sector to improve decision making, to improve government service delivery to its citizens, for more effective management of operations, and so on and so forth. But very important, creating enterprises, businesses with AI. In our team, we had several AI innovators who have created businesses and who are making money out of those businesses. And we want to increase the number of such businesses in Kenya. So we want to promote local AI development of AI solutions and creating enterprises using local data and talent, attracting international investments and collaboration on AI and emerging technologies. Of course, AI is just one of the many emerging technologies that is being exploited. And of course, we want to protect Kenyans against negative impacts of externally developed AI solutions. Some of the solutions that we are consuming are not appropriate for us. And we want to be able to create our solutions that are appropriate, contextually useful to us. And address all these issues of job displacement concerns, responsible AI development and deployment, and ethical use of AI. And finally, we want also to develop the talent right from the primary school to university. We want to develop talent. And you'll see in our objectives, you'll see objectives like introducing a curriculum on AI in primary schools, secondary schools, and so on and so forth, because all of us can participate. In terms of, this is epileptic. It keeps on, doesn't move. I don't know what happens. Will it move? Yes. And we did some stakeholder mapping. As part of strategy, we always do stakeholder mapping. I don't want to go through this stakeholder map. But basically, we look at different groups. We didn't put individual actors, but we grouped them into groups. And we looked at their influence as well as their interest. And therefore, we focus on those ones that are here, where their influence or power is high and their interest is very high. And these are AI researchers. So researchers are very important actors in this space. The AI developers, the people who develop the models, the AI investors, the people who are investing in this space, and the tech associations. And we had, for example, AI Kenya is one of the associations that was represented in our working group. And these are the people we should involve actively and engage actively and collaborate with them in moving forward. In terms of the external environment, of course, we did a lot of data collection and analysis. And every time you are developing strategy, the basis of your strategy is the analysis that you do on your internal environment and the external environment. And basically from the internal environment, we want to talk about the strengths and what other people call weaknesses, but we don't call them weaknesses, we call them limitations. People don't like weaknesses, so we call them limitations. And these are the strengths. We have a very existing diverse and vibrant local innovation ecosystem. We have been recognized as a country, as a very innovative country. We have young digital ready workforce. Our population is very young. A majority of the people are below 19 years old. We have some foundational legal framework for ethical and AI development and use, but it needs to be enhanced in future. Existing digital infrastructure, we have been building very good infrastructure all the way to the village. You will find fiber and internet connectivity almost everywhere. Political goodwill, supporting the adoption of AI. The tech envoy is here, and you have heard the things that they were doing in France. Kenya is a regional hub to the region. So we thought these were the most important strengths. Of course, you can list very many things, but you list the things that you can use to propel yourself forward. And then in terms of limitations, there are skill gaps in the area of AI, and that is why in our school with my boss there, we have developed a curriculum for an MSc in AI. And we have also developed an executive course. And for your information, I was talking to people from the private sector, and I have about five people who are ready to come for the executive course on AI. This is a 3-day course to introduce executives to this thing and discuss the impacts it can have in their organizations. There are regulatory gaps which we need to fix. There are data quality issues, availability and accessibility concerns that we need to address. Primary and supporting infrastructure constraints, particularly power here, and clean power. We're talking about green energy here, which is very important. Limited investments in local AI. There has been very little investment in local AI research and development. You go to our universities, we still keep on writing grants to look for money. There was, I developed the STI Act, the Science, Technology, Innovation Policy and Act, and we put 2% of GDP to be put on R&D, which, well, the government never does. But that is another story. But we have very little investment, limited investment in this area. Maybe one day we'll wake up and we'll start putting our money where our mouth is. Ensuring equity and inclusion in development and gaps in the public AI digital literacy. And we have fragmented and coordinated prioritization of development and application of AI. In the external environment, I hope it works, yes, it works. There are several opportunities to create jobs leading to economic growth, enhancing public sector efficiency, some of the things I talked about before, strengthen existing policy and regulations. There's an opportunity there to do something. AI-specific education programs, like the Masters in AI that we have started, and I hope Professor Pascal here will help us to implement it. Investments into the local AI innovation ecosystem, and we have also opportunities for leadership in AI development. Some challenges or threats, what people call threats, data governance and data sovereignty are big issues. Data, they say data is the new oil. This is where wars will be fought. And therefore, these issues are very important to discuss. Labor market disruption and job displacement are concerns that are shared. Global regulatory pressures. There is a lot of global divide. We don't want to belong to any camp. We want to be able to exploit all the camps, pick what is good in whatever comes. The cap on competitiveness in AI technology, there are all kinds of disruptions in the global supply chains, cybersecurity, misinformation, disinformation, and all these things that you are very familiar with. So this then becomes the basis of our strategy, because we did a lot of analysis about 3 months, and this is the basis, becomes the basis of our strategies. Therefore, I will just give you a glimpse of the key things about our strategy is its vision. And the vision is we want to be a regional leader in AI R&D and innovation. Innovation and actually commercialization. I think there's a word there. Commercialization is very critical. Commercialization so that we can create businesses for inclusive socioeconomic development. I know Philip Thigo here is thinking that we should become global because we are already playing a role in the global area. And therefore, the minister says he's going to add the word global himself. We were there in the morning. AI guiding principles, which are very important. We picked these 8 principles: inclusivity and non-discrimination, very critical, because we don't want to leave anybody behind. Participation and co-creation, transparency, accountability, ethical and responsible AI. Cultural preservation is very important for us, and contextualization, so that the solutions we create are local and relevant to us. Environmental sustainability, we have to take care of our environment. The compute resources will always consume a lot of power, and we don't want that. We want to use green energy as much as possible. Economic benefit and self-efficiency, and local first. That last one is very important, local first. So those are the principles that we came up with. In terms of the themes that came out of our analysis of the environment, we came up with 7 themes. One is about AI digital infrastructure, which we need to create. And there we have a number of sub-themes. I won't have to go through all of them: green energy, compute infrastructure, AI-ready national digital infrastructure, converting a lot of the infrastructure that we have to be able to run AI models. Domestic manufacture facilities like chips is important for us, and there's a war globally on chips and the manufacture of chips. We also want to take part in that. Cybersecurity infrastructure. Cybersecurity is critical in this age. Partnerships and collaborations, we can't do without them. The second theme is about data. And data here, we are talking about data governance framework, very, very important. Something we recommended in another sector working group, where we reformed the whole sector of ICT and digital economy. And data governance was a big issue. And Philip Thigo was in the team that was dealing with data. Secure data sharing and quality AI data sets, training data sets. The third theme is about AI R&D and innovation, and of course, R&D capabilities in universities, in research institutions, AI innovation in our innovation centers, and of course, creating and scaling local enterprises in AI, and of course, creating markets for local AI solutions. We want to also sell solutions, just like the big techs are selling solutions from the US. We also want to sell our own solutions to other people. The other 4, and then I come to the end, if this thing behaves, wherever the computer is. Who is the owner of this epileptic thing? Talent development is the 4th theme, and you can see the sub-themes here. We want to build skills in schools, AI skills in schools, right from awareness creation in primary and secondary schools, to specialized AI skills in tertiary institutions, and creating deep skills in universities and other tertiary institutions. Partnerships in talent development will be critical, just like we have Pascal here. Those kind of partnerships that we are exploiting in our partnership with the French. Acquisition of quality foreign AI talent, we should be able to attract. And there was a PS in charge of diaspora when we were launching. And he said, we have how many? 60,000 Kenyans out there who are willing to come back. And some of them are in AI. And we need to be able to attract them. Not necessarily Kenyans. We can attract anybody, Nigerians, anybody from East Asia, wherever. Governance, the sub-themes are there. Policy frameworks, legal and regulatory frameworks, risk and safety frameworks. We have to develop all those with stakeholder collaborations. Investments, we need investments, private sector investments. And also, we also want to promote Kenya as an investment destination for AI. Several countries have chosen specific things. We feel we should choose in the area of AI. And finally, ethics, equity, and inclusion, which is a very important thing. And we have those 3 sub-themes. Finally, I want to end here. If this thing again behaves, abracadabra, something will happen soon. Oh, yes, yes. I don't want to go through all this because what I have here is the goals and objectives. I don't want to go through those because they reflect the sub-themes that I have just talked through, and therefore I will jump through this to the final slide, if it moves. Yes, move again, please. Sometimes it obeys some funny instructions. Yes, and then the final one. Please move to the last one. Oh, yes, yes. So we have developed goals, objectives, initiatives or projects that we can implement. And if you look at the notes there, for each of the themes, we have not only developed the goals and objectives, we have developed the flagship projects or initiatives that should be implemented, the ultimate outcomes or the outcomes that we should create and KPIs for them. But in addition to that, we have picked specific priorities in our sectors, in our development sectors. We have picked health, we have picked agriculture, we have picked education, public service delivery, security, the creative industry, sustainability in the area of environment, and very importantly, micro, small, and medium enterprises. This is what Kenya is all about. It drives our country. And therefore, if we can focus our AI to have an impact on that, we'll be having a huge impact on the country. The final slide is this one, which is coming. Be patient, if it works. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, there it is. It's a house. It is a house which shows, when I was developing strategy for the university, they used to call it Waema House, but because they could not find a name for it. But this house shows everything, the summary of the strategy. At the top is the vision, and commercialization, which was not there in the vision when I was reading it, is there. And then those are the outcomes we aim to achieve. And then those are the sectors we have picked in the middle. In the middle there, those are the sectors we have prioritized. And then here we have the pillars. We see our digital AI infrastructure as a pillar. We see data as a pillar, because you can't do AI models without data. R&D and innovation and commercialization, very critical. And this is where we want to play as a country. And then we have a number of enablers, talent being one of the enablers, governance being a second enabler, and investments, and finally ethics, equity, and inclusion. These pillars and enablers are the 5 themes that I was talking about. So that gives you a glimpse of what it is that we are thinking about as a country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. That is such a very good presentation. Let's give him another round of applause. Yes, and I'd just like to mention that he was also part of the core team that was developing the MSc in AI, the new MSc in AI, which will be launched this September. So any of you who's looking to do a master's in AI, you can already start applying for that one. And being the leader of the AI strategy, you can already tell that the curriculum that we have built is very much aligned already to the Kenya AI strategy. Thank you very much, Prof. So now I'd like to invite our next presenter, that's Professor Frederick from the University of Paris-Saclay, to give his keynote speech. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for the invitation. I hope that the slides will work, because I have many slides, so is it possible to put it full screen? Yeah. Okay, so I'm very happy to be here. I mean, I was so lucky to participate to this big event this morning on the strategy. Arrived yesterday, leaving tonight, and I see the launch of Kenya National AI Strategy. In full screen. Apple F on a Macintosh, on a PC, I don't know. Yeah, but I cannot switch the slide like that. No, it's it's not full screen. Okay, so I will start on these slides. So when I've been asked to give this keynote, the title was Future of AI, AI for Future, Vision, Impact, Regional Perspectives. So I wait for yesterday evening, very late, to do the presentation because future of AI change from day to day. So, I mean, it's future for today. Let's see. So I've tried. Yeah, so I'm professor at Saclay. I'm the head of the AI cluster, so part of the French National AI Strategy, the biggest cluster. Just to give you an idea, it's 800 faculty staff. Kind of big cluster, several domains. And let's now go on these slides. So depending on your age, you will have different answers, but the first slide is on which fiction is for you the most representative of AI. Okay, it's only fiction. So since I'm not so young, I know all the movies. And the view of AI by people has changed. Probably a long time ago, it was the first one, or Terminator, something that very focused on robotic. Nowadays, the fiction is her. You know this movie with a chatbot talking, conversing with real people. Today we live with that. So if we continue, now this is reality, okay? So first we have fiction, today it's reality. It starts by the game. So probably you all have heard about AlphaGo. So it was really the first AI in a sense of using reinforcement learning. Now we move to LLMs, so also including reinforcement learning. And we are more now on chatbot. Chatbot because LLMs, because foundation models, because, helping people for very simple tasks or not so simple tasks. So I try to do something talking a bit about AI. So like, let's say, for some people who do not know what is AI, give some intuition, and then focus on the future and what we can do. It's amazing because we didn't discuss before with the professor, and regarding the national strategy, many things are aligned with your strategy. So we will see. Let's start. Definition. So normally, I don't know, let's estimate 100 person in this room, 100 definition for AI. So it's a bit tricky to define AI. Let's first say it's a discipline between computer science, mathematics, and engineering. Quite large, not so much definition, and the goal, and always the goal, is to build intelligence system or intelligent program. So what does it mean? We have to define a program or a system. Let's say program is a small part of a system, and we have to define intelligence. So I've skipped many slides because I have only 20 minutes, but intelligence, if you talk with Turing, before he died, for sure, or with a physiologist or with historian, definition of intelligence is different. So for AI, instead of giving a definition, let's consider what AI can do for us. This is, in my opinion, the best way to approach AI. And it's the best way also to regulate AI. Because regulating a very big black box, let's say, okay, I don't want that this system become racist. Okay, how can we do? We don't know what is inside the system. Billions of weights. We cannot explain, we cannot open the box of this foundation model. On the other hand, if we look at the use case, we can do things depending on the industry, on the topic, on the risk, we can regulate on that. And AI, this is the most important. What can AI can do for us? And in that case, we can define what are the important tasks. So to focus on the task and not on the total thing that AI can do. Okay, so I will illustrate this by several tasks that you know. The first one is visual recognition. Okay, so it's very simple AI. It's not a LLMs, it's deep learning. Okay, so you have some box that can identify faces. You have the same thing for autonomous vehicles. Now, vehicles can automatically identify road signs. They have camera, so they have sensors, so they can see the world, interpret the world, and make the decision. Okay? It was the beginning, so even for the smartphone, I don't know who write a code on a smartphone. We just put the smartphone, so I will open mine just to check the time. And he continued the speech for me, so, okay. So this task is on decision-making, perception, understanding, recognition, learning. We have kind of a definition of intelligence, okay? Except that for a system like that, you need billions of data. A person needs 2 data to recognize human versus an animal, or a cat versus a dog. Okay, so the intelligence is not exactly the same. It does not work as a human being. Okay, so there's different approach. Let's say that the most theoretical slide. Okay, so that's okay. I decided to remove all the equations, so I come from mathematics. So there's 2 big parts, and nowadays we are on the first one, so on data-centric. We are about machine learning, statistical learning, deep learning, we learn. Second one, that had a winter, but now come back, is on symbolic AI. And now we are really in between data, so we learn from the data without explicit rules. That is really the point of AI. We have data. If we talk about supervised AI, we have data, we have the output, and we learn how it's possible to connect the cat image and the fact that it is a cat and not a dog. Okay, so the paradigm has changed, and you can see the 2 graphs. Before, we have input, program, and then output, okay, or decision. I have an image, I do image processing, and then I say, okay, this is a cat. Now it's not this thing. We have input, output, and then we create the AI system. And we can play with it again. Okay, so today, before going to the future, let's focus on today. So AI is everywhere. That's also why there is a national strategy on AI, because it's essential for almost everything. Essential if it is used properly on the good application. So some example, but I will continue. Look at this slide. So this was a hackathon a couple of years ago, and what it shows is very, very interesting. The 2 first plots it's a problem of classification. So this is the classification error. Two first plot, around 25% of error, no AI. Okay, it was a feature engineering, no AI, no deep learning. Then third plot, beginning of learning. I mean, 8 layers is not deep learning, but this is the beginning. And who win this hackathon is really deep learning network. So here only 152 layers, but it was almost 10 years ago. And on this graph, what we see is that the human performance left has been outperformed by deep learning. Okay, so it's a big question. Human intelligence has been outperformed by AI. You see, it's not true what I say. I just say on a classification task that could be extremely difficult for human, some of AI system can outperform human. And probably it's a good way to illustrate AI, okay? Human intelligence is rather larger than only classifying something. But on several tasks, it's possible to use AI better than us, in a sense that we can gain time. Time is money, is efficiency. We can scale. And I will go back on that, but using AI, I'm sure that in this room, everybody knows a bit about AI. But outside this room, it's 50 million. For AI, you need smartphone, you need computational resources. So this is important first to understand what we can do with that. So then, all the sectors are impacted by AI. So just some graphs on the right. You have various sectors that already use AI. On the left, how AI increase even in terms of economy. Okay, let's focus on some application. Autonomous vehicle. Autonomous vehicle, it works. It perfectly works. When I say perfectly, it does not mean that there's no accident. It means that there are less accidents than if humans drive. Why I say it works? Because it's a very classical system of AI, many sensors. Like a human, we have eyes, we have hands, we have ears, we have sensors. We have information, data that we have around us. We process the data and we make a decision. For the autonomous car, it's the same thing. It's a complex system. Of course, driving is complex. I saw in Nairobi streets, it's very complex, very, very complex. I mean, in Paris, it's complex, but here it's totally different. But whatever the complexity, the AI system doesn't care about complexity. It works with rule, with sensor, then learning, then rule, then decision. So it works. Why there's no autonomous car everywhere? There's many answers to that, but the most important is regulation. Regulation. Very big question. Who is responsible in case of accident? The person in the car, that we could say the non-driver, but the people who check the driving processing, the constructor of the car, the AI system constructor, who is responsible? For the moment, there's no answer, okay? Now, in a more complex case, if there is a human driver and an AI driver, who is responsible? Who discuss with who when there is some smaller accident? So you see, regulation is a key point. And when I say regulation, I have in mind also data, because this car process data, so acquire data, and also personal data, okay? There are people walking in the streets. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so now we can generate image. Generate image. I mean, this is not a real image, okay? like the text. So my slides are real because I speak. But I mean, it's not me who work on those slides. I just try to see what the AI system provides to me and try to deliver kind of a talk. This is generated data. It's very important. And of course, we all know in this room what is something generated. But if not, if there is just one person who does not understand this point, it won't be possible to adopt AI. Okay? Generation means randomness. Randomness means possible error. Like a human. We make mistake all the day. It is the same for AI. There's a pause between each slide. The time the signals go there. Okay, now the data. So again, generated data. It offers us a big question. How to distinguish a real data, a real image, a real video, a real text, compared to something generated? That is a true question. So I went, I don't know, a couple of months ago in Paris at, Google headquarters. So Google, it's a big company in AI. Probably you know that. And they have a big headquarters in France. So they provide some tools, and also they invite people from parliament, people from ministries. Kind of very classic relation. And there's been this panel on generated AI, so I was a part of the panel. And I asked a question to the head of Google DeepMind, say, what is your rate of recognition of generated data? And I will give you the answer. 99%. I say, wow. Now I'm so happy. I'm sure that it's possible to detect all generated image. And the end of the sentence was 99% on our generated images. Okay? You can check if an image is generated if you know how the image has been generated. You know that probably you know about the diffusion model, and this is the conditional probabilities, but you have to know all the system. Else it's very difficult. We go back to regulation. Maybe some solution is to watermark the data. Something that I've seen in Morocco for students. So there was a professor who gave an exam to the student, a homework exam. Listen, there's many students, listen to that because you'll be careful after. And so he passed the exam, he gave the exam, and on the PDF, there was a very, very small text, white over white, saying to any AI system to add 2 dots every 2 sentences. Okay? And like that, it's easy to check if you use AI. Half of the students have used the AI, and every 2 sentences, there were 2 dots at the end of the sentence. Okay? But in that case, we know it is generated because we have imposed to know. Else, it's very difficult. And look at the right plot. The quantity of generated data, increase exponentially. So that's another point, because increasing those data generally are stored, and so it means that quantity of storage should be enormous. Okay, I will skip that because I speak a lot. Code generation. Just to say, this is very good application. AI for generating code, it's very good. Okay, some art. Again, generation. AlphaFold, okay. Genetics application, protein generation with expected structure or properties. Seems to be longer now. Okay, and I don't have the 30 slide in mind, so I think the next one is on digital twins. Okay, this is something very interesting because in industry, several systems are very complex, and with AI it can help either for numerical simulation or for any industrial system. And let's finish on that. So, as we said at the beginning, capable of conversing. So that was me yesterday evening, 1 a.m. I have to give a keynote at the University of Nairobi titled AI for the Future, Future of AI, subtitled Vision and Impacts, Regional Perspectives. Could you propose an outline for this talk? Okay. Let's check. So just a little bit of national promotion. It has been done with Le Chat of Mistral AI. This is something that is a good alternative between, let's say, ChatGPT and DeepSeek. It is at the origin of the DeepSeek model, okay, this mixture of, sparse mixture of expert, very good and trustable AI LLMs. Okay, so he proposed me something. At the end of the talk, I will give you all the details about that, and you will see that, unfortunately, I didn't respect the recommendation of the AI system. Okay, so we can do many things, okay, and things that works today. But there are some limitations and risks. So, I mean, it's aligned with the strategy. Opportunities, risk. But we have to know that. Okay, so AI is everywhere, AI in company, using AI, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's no AI in the industry, especially in SMEs. Not innovation startup working on AI, coming from the best research lab. No, I mean, traditional companies, there's no AI. Because it's difficult to implement AI. Because we have to be educated about AI. So, for the moment, there's not so much deployment of AI. This is a really big issue. Because we all say, okay, money, 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 AI, money. Okay, for that, we need to use AI, we need to develop AI. It's not the case today. Then, trustworthiness. This is something that is problematic. Because, as I said previously, all AI systems are biased. By construction, they are biased. Because the data are biased. In terms of gender, in terms of whatever. Because we are biased. This is the first thing. And you can see, it's always a black people that is the bad people regarding the AI system. No, look, that's true. So this is the bias, but it is a scientific bias, okay, included in the data. We can have other things, okay? We can have generated bias, okay, that are not in the data, okay, that are created. If you discuss about Taiwan with DeepSeek, I'm not sure that all the generated answers would be extremely correct. Of course, it really depends on the point of view. Okay, same thing for ChatGPT, for Gemini, and also same thing for Mistral AI. Okay, so when you build a model, when you use, first, when you are a user, you have to be careful. But when you build the model, you decide something when you build the model. So the society will be designed by our model. So we need to be extremely careful. We need to work collectively together to create a model that corresponds to all people, not only people like me. I want a model also for me. Okay, so you all know this example. It's very easy to attack an AI system. So on the left, we have a panda, 60% confidence. I add some Gaussian noise. On the right, I have a panda, we all see a panda. The system detects a gibbon with 99% of confidence. So with a very small modification, we can attack. So there is also a question about security of AI system. Okay, let's turn now to the future, and if it's permitted, I will take some questions. Massive education. For me, it is the key point, the starting point, massive education. So I'll present some quotes. The first one is from a president in North America. He said, "We will drill, baby, drill." You have heard about that. It's about energy, gas, oil, America first, so on. The second one is a president in Europe during the AI Action Summit. I mean, an amazing president. He said, "Plug, baby, plug," regarding AI and using nuclear energy. I would say that is the starting point. Educate, baby, educate. Everybody, whatever the level of education, whatever the content of the training program, we have to educate everyone. Kids, old people, people working, everyone. That is the key point. Else, some people will stay not on the road. Okay, so the critical issue is to avoid risk, but to avoid a stronger digital divide. I mean, stronger than numerical, strongly stronger. Okay, AI is something completely different. I've heard this morning during the launch of the strategy, AI, so I have to remember, is like, I don't remember. Okay. I mean, at my age, problem of memory, that's a really big deal. No, but for me, it's like having books between spoken languages, something that completely changed the society. It was about nuclear. Okay, AI is like a nuclear. Voilà. Yeah, I also agree with that, except the fact that AI will be everywhere. Nuclear is not everywhere. Okay, in our smartphone, we don't have neither nuclear weapon, we have a bit of nuclear energy. Okay, accepting AI for society. Not adopting, accepting. Okay, meaning being able to say, okay, it's a tool. I mean, fantastic on one side, probably a bit dangerous on another side, something that can help me. So we have to accept, but not us. We all accept AI, but everybody. Then adopt AI. This is the next step. How to push AI everywhere. Of course, if you don't have smartphone and laptop, it's very difficult to access to AI. So that's something. And for innovation, before innovating, we need to have education for many things. I mean, all persons are potential customers. So we want to create money. we have the people buy. So how do we do that? The first elements, and for individuals, for AI, we have to test it, to try it, to play with AI. Okay? And I don't care about using ChatGPT for a course. I'm okay with that. Play, look at the result, check the sources, check the result. This is the good way to start. Then, of course, to test, all people need device or access to device to test AI. So this is for individual. At a collective level, so I wrote the slide yesterday, so before this morning. Of course, a national strategy is essential to coordinate all the action, not to have a big action from University of Nairobi, a big action of private companies and other big action. No, national strategy. Then something that I'm very interested in, shift in teaching approaches. You know, as a very famous professor at the university, I know everything. And students, They have to listen to me, and they can ask a question, but not so much. It's very old time. I mean, probably students use more AI than me, and that's for sure. I don't have time to test, and I don't have to answer questions. I don't have to learn so much courses, so we have to inverse the way we approach. And of course, at the university, it's easy because of the pandemic. We already have this invertible pedagogy. But in the school, we have to do that. I mean, high school, all students know AI. So this is for university, schools, but also in companies, massive upskilling. Okay, I'm almost done. The other aspect that have been mentioned, an environmental aspects. So if everyone use AI today, really now, everyone, it's impossible. We don't have enough energy on Earth, okay? So yeah, give AI for everyone, but it's impossible. So this is the key point. We need for new breakthrough, research, innovation, and small language model. Specific task, no need to use ChatGPT for translating a document. I mean, this is a huge system for only a very easy task. Sovereignty, national security, economic competitiveness, public trust and acceptance. So again, there is something we develop with a given mind, with no bias, so we need to have this sovereignty. And of course, it's important for data privacy and protection. Something I want to add before the conclusion, there's no LLM for spoken languages. You know that? Because for creating a LLM, you need a text. And for spoken languages, no LLM. So in France, there are some languages that are only spoken. There's no LLM. So be careful. LLM is the way to promote certain languages, not all the languages. So there are some cultural issues. This is important, in my opinion, and I already mentioned bias. Okay, so some conclusion. I will finish on that. So I say this is the starting point. Of course, security is important, health is important, infrastructure is important, but first, we need to have everybody on the same level of knowledge, even a basic level, but this is the starting point. It's generally a starting point of every society, the education. And I'm done. The next slide are just the presentation done by Mistral. So my introduction, welcome. I say welcome. Introduction, I've introduced. Structure of the keynote, I'm not sure I've done that properly, but yeah, I have an outline. Global AI landscape, current state, I've done my best, showing some application. Key technology trends, I think I've done that. Global vision, I hope that I pick some partial vision. AI in Africa, so, you know, I was generic enough, but I hope that some ideas are very actual in Kenya. Success story, I didn't have time. Kenya, I've done some generic thing. Ethical and societal consideration, yeah, I talk about data privacy bias. Yes. Future trends. I didn't talk so much about future. I would say next step are small language model or mixture of small language model. Yeah, I already talked about that. And the last one, collaboration and partnership. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons I'm here. Collaboration, academia and research. We are at the university. I recap the key point, call for action. I will give you the mic. And I thank you. And again, thank you for listening.
Okay, so let's give Professor Pascal another round of applause. Yes, so what I can take away from that is, as students, you've been told that using ChatGPT is okay. Okay, so let's go to the next session, which will be led by Professor Mark Zolver, the panel session. Yeah, thanks.
So thank you very much, MC. I should have refused the forced modification of the program to become the last of the session because the time constraint is on us now for the panelists, and we changed at least 4 times the programs, yes. Let's be agile. I am not an NI moderator, so I'll try to be my best to relook on the point, the panel discussion. I would like to re-invite Frédéric Pascal on the stage to sit on my seat and invite the panelists for a direct discussion. I won't present anything and I won't ask questions because probably you have better questions than me. And I will open directly the panelists after the short presentation of each panelist. So please, Frédéric, if you can sit. I would like to invite the special envoy, Philippe Thigault, to sit beside Frédéric. Professor Seguera, please, if you can come. We have Melissa Kiroy, please. Elie Savatia, where is Elie? Yeah, please come. And Emiliane Popa. Maybe I need some assistance to move this, or I take the mic. Yeah, that it is very okay like this. So just first of all, to recognize and to appreciate the coordination with University of Nairobi, the French Embassy, the IFD for the organization of that discussion this afternoon, very interesting discussion, to mark the launch of this AI strategy, but also to follow up the AI Paris Summit, and also to take place in the Engineering and Science Complex on the Big Five agenda for University of Nairobi. Professor Waima, excuse me not to call you back on the stage, but I think you are well represented by a special envoy to answer the questions. In case of need, I would ask you to answer. Yeah. So my first let's say introduction is, please, if you can, each of you, except Frédéric, of course, present yourself, because I won't go through your biography. Present yourself and please tell us or tell the public the link with AI and the key point you want to say in short introduction on AI from your perspective. Yeah, I begin from your... One thing I said before, you see that the panel is not very balanced in gender, right? So two reasons. First of all, it's a reality. Women are underrepresented in STEM education, STEM business, STEM activities. That's a reality. But believe me, we invited women in the panel, and we have half and half. But because maybe they are underrepresented, they are over busy, and 2 of them just propose excuses for this panel and propose some replacement. And that's why we have so few women in the panel. So please, Special Envoy, if you can begin that discussion. Thank you. Present yourself and something about AI and your link.
Ambassador Philippe Thigault, Special Envoy for His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya. My focus really, first of all, I think it's in the indication of the mindset of the President that, yes, we have a ministry of technology, but then because of emerging technology, we needed something else that then enables the country to engage very differently in this age. Artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies have actually shifted even how countries collaborate or engage, and so you needed almost a tech ambassador who then begins to sort of engage in these issues, and that's my first point, that beyond AI shifting how we live, learn, work, collaborate is also changing international relations, it's changing politics. Yeah, we've heard about geopolitics. The second part I think of my on sort of what I want to frame around artificial intelligence is that one, of course, we've talked about compute, we've talked about data, we need to talk about talent, but also we need to talk about use cases. And I know Pascal didn't have time to talk about use cases, but I think it is in the use cases that we understand the implications of AI, whether they're safe, secure, or they're inclusive. The third part, of course, is then to also be very realistic around the resourcing and the cost of AI. And many parts of what I do now is to understand how we can begin to talk about sovereign AI in the context of sharing AI capabilities. When we talk about compute, not all of us can have compute. And not all of us have all the talent pool. And not all of us have the energy even to power the compute. And finally, as much as we're talking about, of course, artificial intelligence and the divide around AI, we should not forget on the foundations. We still need to do the hard work around digital connectivity, last mile connectivity. We still need to get devices in the hands of people, because everybody here uses AI, by the way. I don't have to say the models. If you're on a Gmail, if you're searching on Google, you're using artificial intelligence. But then you need something to use that. We still need to invest in STEM, as you've said it. We still need to invest in partnerships and collaboration with big tech companies, because the small and medium enterprises still require a platform to build on top of it, whether it's Mistral, whether it's OpenAI. My conversation, for example, with Sam Altman, a lot of these folks, it's still that how can you open up your platform so that our innovators can build on top of it? And that opening up is also cost. Because unfortunately with AI, the more you use, the more you pay.
Thank you very much, Special Envoy. And especially the question of the resources. If everybody use AI, we don't have enough resources, right, Professor? So there is a big point there. Professor Seguera, if you can introduce yourself and say a few words about AI, I would be interested if you can tell us how do you see the role of universities in this national strategy.
Thanks a lot, Prof. It's Dr. Seguera. Yes,
sorry.
I'm aspiring to be a professor. Yes, a lecturer.
I promote yourself for today.
Thank you, Prof. Yes, a lecturer in the Department of Electrical Engineering, undergraduate electrical, embedded systems, master's, telecommunications, PhD, AI, where I trained a model to stage cancer back then before the LLMs. And I use AI in all my workflows, from generating my notes to writing code. I love writing code. Like there's a project we're working on trying to harvest hydrogen and oxygen from water. So it's a limited resource, but it gives cleaner hydrogen for medical use. And we have incorporated some AI to be like a watchdog. We push data from the electrolyzer, various parameters, and we are using AI as a watchdog so that it can be able to monitor whether the system is operating well, abnormally, then raise alarms. Yeah, there is so much to do with AI in the university setup, but sometimes I find people are like a bit slow to, more so the old professors, they tend to say, I'm used to this, but I think it's a heavy lifter, is a heavy lifter. Like initially we could code each line, but today the language of programming is English. You just write with a very good prompt, you can get all these thousands of lines of code. So it's not going to take the programmer's job, but it is going to make us better. Rather than having the job of a job where we will have 1,000 programmers, take a whole week, we can have one programmer prompting it, and we can do it in 2 days. So AI will take your job if you're not going to learn how to use it, if you are a programmer. That is what, Prof, I can say. Thank you.
Yeah. Just one point. What university can play within the strategy of Kenya? I think we are key stakeholders on this strategy, right?
In the university, that's where we train the skill pool. Yeah. And I tend to think that's where we need to change to problem-based learning. And it's something that I'm really doing. Like AI can be able to generate 90 problems for my class students. You see, initially I can give one problem, and they're trying to do one, but now I can give 90 problems, testing same complexity, same concept within the same course outline, but they're doing individual problems. So we tend to do much of the dictation. We need to move from that and focus more on the problem-based learning, where the students now can be able to learn how to adopt AI in solving problems. So I think if we do that, we can be able to contribute to the pool, the skill pool that is required, because the future is for those who will learn how to use these tools.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Melissa, yes, please present yourself a little bit and give your point of view of young entrepreneur, especially a woman, as a woman.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Kirwa. I am a STEM and robotics educator. So like how Monsieur Pascal said, when we started with artificial intelligence, the first thing we thought about is robotics. So we do training for children from the ages of 5. So unlike all the solutions that are for the university students, us, we tender to the young engineers, young entrepreneurs, young innovators as we go on. So the pool of artificial intelligence works greatly with robotics because that's where we teach automation. Unlike how we can base artificial intelligence, like how a doctor has stated that the coding aspect, a child cannot understand code because it's a bit complex, but using robotics tenders to their imaginative side and gives them knowledge of how the artificial intelligence pool works. So as we continue, I also do mentorship to students who are in high school, where they I teach them also through the initiative of the Irish Embassy with the Ministry of Education on a program called Young Scientists Kenya. So we teach the students on how to become entrepreneurs, actually, where they come up with solutions to solve problems within the society, community, and then try and find partners who facilitate their innovations. And that's building the pool of employment in Kenya right now. So when we talk about education, I feel like we should start from as young as possible because those are the future of tomorrow in my eyes and perspective. So when we're focusing with artificial intelligence, that's the way I tend to focus on robotics.
Okay.
Yes.
Just before you put on the floor, you have the government, you have an expert, and you have the university. So as a woman user, what do you want to tell or to ask them because of the challenge, any challenge for women or any risk or any things you would like to see better from us?
Yeah, actually that's something I usually see with my students too. Most of my students are boys, not girls. So I think it's a matter of when they see a trainer who's female, every time I see new faces and there are more girls. So I think also when you're having the classes that you're having, like if you're teaching, have maybe a session where there's a lady facilitating, because it's no longer about the knowledge. Also, you also bring in the comfortability for girls to approach this and say, oh, it's not very hard. Because also that is something I used to think. I thought that robotics was a very complex thing. But when I just finished high school, I found out it was not very complex. But as you continue and you give the empowerment to also girls, because there are also initiative where we partner with, it's only girls. So we teach also only girls how to approach more of technical and robotics or AI fields without feeling like they're odd one out.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. Specific measures for women in STEM. Okay, thank you very much. Emilian, same thing. Present yourself, explain your link with AI, and maybe because you have the Kenyan government, Kenyan University, French specialist, your challenge as a foreigner in Kenya, as a young entrepreneur.
I'm actually Kenyan by heart.
Ah, yes, okay.
if not by passport. So I'm Emilian. I'm a technology entrepreneur, more specifically health technology entrepreneur. I've been doing that for the past 10 years in Africa and Kenya specifically, since 2015, I've been in Africa for 15 years, investing in the beginning, building ventures and building health tech ventures here. My involvement with AI, I mean, it's funny because I still remember 1997, 1998, I was in between Paris and Brussels, and everyone was talking about web at the time. So if we're not using web, or the company's not using internet, was a catastrophe. So kind of I see the same wave now, but much, much faster. I actually started to use heavily AI tools exactly 2 years ago. I actually took in 2023 a massive, a 6 months long AI course, AI Mastery by Mindvalley, which is one of the biggest worldwide learning platforms. So it was a 6 months course, about 10 hours a week. And I took a second course in the past year. And I've been using AI both in my venture. So very quickly, I've been building a company called Ilara Health in Kenya, where we consolidate small primary care clinics in the neighborhoods, in the mid to low income neighborhoods around Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu. So we have a few hundred small clinics that we either own or we power with technology, devices, or tech and systems. Been using AI heavily in Ilara Health, as anything from building myself applications for my sales team to be able to analyze calls with our customers and understand, why customers do not work with us, up to piloting small pilots or conversation between the clinicians and the patients to be able to analyze the conversation and take pieces of the conversation and bring them into our electronic medical records, obviously with the limitations of the data privacy, up to building other tools for us as a company. I also have a second venture, which is not in Kenya, where we've been building a longevity or a functional medical AI copilot, which sits on top of multiple LLMs, so multiple AI agents, which allow clinicians, mostly functional doctors, more holistic clinicians, to build very complex health programs for patients and for clients, alongside nutrition, mindfulness, activity, sleep, but also supplementation and other areas of health optimization. I'm a big believer in using existing LLMs. So I think Sam Altman from OpenAI was saying a couple of months ago that OpenAI will be always bigger than anything else. I mean, we plug into OpenAI, we plug into Claude, so we plug into Llama. So we use existing LLMs and we rather innovate on top of them to be able to build applications for the end users being clinicians in our case, or being clients or patients. For myself, I've started to use same AI on different tools using GPT and custom GPTs and AI agents. In literally everything I do, I probably save today half of my time, so 4 to 5 hours a day of work. I've been automating anything from anything in my life except for my wife, which I couldn't automate yet. But without joking, I think we touched the tip of the iceberg in the use of the day-to-day AI tools, and I strongly believe into us as users, instead of us building LLMs or building deep tech, but using the tools out there and then using them for our day-to-day life, from recording calls, analyzing, building images, building text, building knowledge, so for me it's been an amazing time saver, and an upgrade of myself as a human.
Thank you very much, Emilian. So, Ellie, sorry, you are the last one. Last one, big pressure on time. So, as a Gen Z, present yourself, and as a Gen Z, what do you want to put in our attention regarding AI adoption from your generation?
Thank you. All protocols observed. Hello. I'll teach you how to say hello in sign language. Yeah, my name is Ellie. I am a technology entrepreneur. I'm the founder and CEO of Signverse. And I use AI every day, of course, for productivity, but we also apply the same in Signverse. So Signverse, we are an assistive technology startup, and we do research at the intersection of sign language and technology. And we've built an AI-driven sign language avatar. So think Google Translate, but visual for sign language, using 3D avatars that are hyper-realistic and are able to take in speech and text and output motion. So I think my application of AI, so ideally, I think what we're looking at is technology is developing every other single day. And the key question that we keep asking ourselves as founders in the assistive technology space is, how do we make sure that as technology is evolving, we make sure that our persons living with disability are digitally onboarded, and not just as an afterthought, but we do include that during even the building process. We most likely have the largest motion data set for an African Sign Language, thanks to support from the Presidential Innovation Award through the Kenya National Innovation Agency. We've been able to acquire motion capture systems that we have deaf people wear, then they sign, then we're able to record all those signs in a specific format. Then we've trained automatic speech recognition systems with the Kenyan local accent. Then we're able to now glossify that to sign language representation, then pull motions to avatars that are customizable in nature. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So time is running, so I go directly to the audience, because I guess you have burning questions to our panelists, including Professor Pascal. So we'll take 3 questions. The rule of the game is 1 question, 1 person. I know how it happens, and one person said, hey, I have a question, and in fact, this is 5 questions. No, 1 question per person. So yes, I see Professor Oponga. All right, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yeah. And if you can ask a question to one of the panelists, because it will be too long to go through all panelists for each question. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Zolva. My question goes to the founder of Ilara Health. I come from the Faculty of Health Sciences and leading innovation at the faculty. Our students are very much interested in AI and healthcare technologies and healthcare innovations. My question is, how do we partner together, and do we have a course that students can start, healthcare students can start to involve themselves in to be able to acquaint themselves with AI? Thank you.
Sure, I'd love to chat after the event, and then please reach out to see what we can do together. But I'll give you a very simple example. This applies to everyone. Probably the simplest way anyone here can use AI, GPT or Claude. Just if you've ever done a blood test, go to the laboratory, get a PDF, upload it to GPT, and say, please analyze my laboratory report. Give me the key findings and the key recommendations, and you may say, well, key recommendations alongside, lifestyle changes, nutrition, mindfulness, whatever. You'll be surprised by the output, which is better, definitely better than every single nurse practitioner or even doctors. I've been working, and we've been working with thousands of doctors here. Much better than any doctors I've been seeing around the world. So this is a very simple use, but I can talk to you about this for hours, for days. I'd love to see, we need talent, so I'd love to see how we can help you guys, and how your students can help us to build solutions that are applicable here in Kenya at the level of care which is very basic, so nothing very sophisticated, at a level of care people need and use here.
So meeting point is already set, okay. The second question was over there. Yes, lady?
Good afternoon. My name is Juliana from the M. Zawadi Group. And at M. Zawadi, we've been championing tech for the last 9 years. We have said a lot about the AI space, but my question is to the Kenyans on the panel. Do you think that Kenyans are ready for AI in terms of adaptability and even sustainability? Because we talk AI, and then when it comes to commercializing it, Kenyans step back. And my question comes from a used case of one of our championing products being Wakili AI, When you launched Wakili AI, we really hoped that the greatest support will come from the lawyers, but they sued us. So please, do you think Kenyans are ready for AI?
No, thank you for the question. Let me direct the question to a special envoy. Yes, please, Thigo.
And this is something I'm observing a lot from a lot of you innovators. And this is where I thought I'll push the universities a bit, because you don't do enough R&D before you build your applications. There's an assumption that there's a need, I'll build, and they'll come. And I've seen a lot of this. Before I was a special envoy, I was an innovator like you. And I was part of the sort of bigger lab ecosystem. So my response to you is that you need to study a lot of design, especially human-centered design. And this is where I want to push the universities, because you do not have that capacity to do R&D, but this is where the collaboration can come into, because then once you have the research and design, then you build your product. So you have the energy, you have the capability, but you need these guys for research and design.
Thank you. No, one question was over there. Yeah, young boy. Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Zachary Ongeri. I'm the founder of Zabul AI, which is a market suite that helps, that we want to train AI agents to help Kenyan businesses in ad generation. And I was asking a professor.
Which professor? Pascal. Professor Pascal, yes.
Yeah, I was asking Pascal on how can we determine the authenticity of content, authenticity of the content being produced by these large language models and these pre-trained models for the AI, and how can we leverage them in the training according to specific Kenyan market.
Okay, thank you for the question. I think that there's many ways to answer, but I agree that we have to work with big tech, and then, of course, we have to work on our own model. It has been said that we can use several models, but it has been, either fine-tuned or using some RAG to use their own data. And so it's impossible to exactly anticipate what will be the answer, but fine-tuning, especially the RAG approach, give a more constrained direction to the generated. So we have to combine existing models that are, in a sense, performant. I've joked about ChatGPT. I think the point is that it's a huge consumption of energy. But apart from that, it's quite good model. So there's many good models. We have to start from that, and then we can play. Another way is if it is a very specific task. In that case, it's possible to build models. In our university, we have built several models that came from the lab, research lab, and then go to a startup. I think it has been said, so this is essential. Research, best expert at the university create some model and then can create a company, even with other people.
Thank you, Prof. It's 4 o'clock, so let me see if I have to break or we can go for a run of another. Yes, okay. So 3 another question, but last one to our panelists. Anybody? Yes, one there, and the third one? Yeah, Prof. Yeah, sure. Please, there is one there, the first one.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Louis. I'm a final year student at the University of Nairobi. I'm doing geospatial engineering. Sorry. My question goes to Professor Pascal. You talked about you have Paris School of AI. All I had to ask is, why is it an issue for us as students when you use AI, like for example, to do our assignments? when we do a literature review, it's a big issue when you use AI. When we talk about AI, it's all about productivity. It's about us using it to maximize the results and spend our time doing other things. So, from your perspective, why is that still an issue?
So maybe I was not clear. I just say for me it's really not an issue. I just say yes, students have to use AI. So can I add? No, I think people have to use AI, and my point was, I mean, it has been said on professors who don't want to use AI and so try to keep a traditional course, but I mean, this is the future AI. And actually, I cannot enter into all details talking about use case, but we use AI even for lecture, for creating content, video content, even slides. I mean, with the slides of today, I can create at least 3 courses with questions, with exams. So, I mean, we have developed an AI system for creating courses. So, on the other aspect, for students, of course, they have to use AI.
Thank you. The second question was here. Where is the mic? Oh, yes, okay. This one, and then you will be the third question. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Jackson Malu from the Department of Business Administration. I'm also the pillar head for the innovation pillar in the engineering science complex. I think my question goes to Professor Frederick. There's this myth about the impact of AI on the human brain, particularly the issues of cognitive engagement of the students. And I think it connects possibly to what the student is asking, that there are people who believe that by too much usage of AI, it's going to lead to, brain atrophy, if you wish, if you can call it so. I mean, is that myth, does that have any scientific, proof, or is there any slight truth in that? But more specifically, my concern would be, for instance, with the widespread usage of AI in the academic process, how would the university, for instance, the University of Nairobi, prepare itself for, conducting lectures in the presence or in the era of AI? What can be done? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the question. I mean, for both questions, it is really a tricky problem, because on one aspect, of course, using AI and going out for playing soccer, that's not the good point. But it questions one thing: what are the skills? What are the role of the university when teaching something? Does it is, as it has been done before, transferring knowledge? Auquel cas, maybe it's partially unnecessary in the age of AI, because we can access to knowledge quite easily, depending on the knowledge. I mean, the proof of convergence of stochastic gradient descent, it's easy to find. If we go into more detail, specific problem could be tricky and with no solution. So I just say that main knowledge is not the main focus for the future. Is really the skill, the ability to think by himself, to question the results. Because it's interesting to using AI, but the result, the output, it is not the answer of the question. It's a beginning of something on which we have to work. So, I mean, less knowledge probably, but more focus on how to think, how to have a critical mind. And personally, I think it is the most important thing for when we talk about education. Critical mind. We have to question what we see, what we hear. This is the main thing.
Thank you. Last question. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much. My name is George Nyalwal. I work at the University of Nairobi as a Deputy Director in charge of planning in the Library and Information Services. And I'm also a PhD student in the Department of Library and Information Sciences. And I got very interested in this conference because my topic of research actually concerns integration of AI in academic libraries in Kenya. Now my question is to Professor Pascal Frederick. I've done quite a bit of reading on AI and academic libraries, and I have not come across any articles talking about adoption of AI in academic libraries in France. So I'd just like a professor to tell me whether France is adopting AI in academic libraries, because in the US, they're doing it, in Canada, they're doing it, in China, they're doing it, in Africa. We are still grappling with, is it possible or not?
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So let me say something. So I mean, in parallel, I work for the Minister of Higher Education on the question of AI and pedagogy at the university. So this is a very good question because the short answer is no. Now the long answer is there are already AI tools in academic libraries with data scientists. The example of Paris-Saclay that is not representative of all universities in France, but half of the employees are data scientists with PhD in the library. So, of course, they develop AI, they use AI. Library is, I think, a key corner at the university because in between students, professors, research content, so we try to go to have a uniform way of adoption through library, through system information services, but it's, let's say, under progress. I mean, it's not for all universities, it's really case by case. I can say that in Paris, that there are some good advances, also in some other university, but some other didn't adopt AI.
Thank you, Professor Pascal, for the answer. So no question. We stop this session. Just last one thing. We have 5 minutes. Professor Pascal, you talk a lot, so I will take some from for this last exercise. 1 minute of each of our panelists to a final word to our audience. 1 minute and be concise, please. Special envoy. 5 minutes for all of you.
What I think for me is simply that we need to build fluency around AI. We just need to keep on understanding because it changes every day.
Thank you. Very short, very concise, very on the target.
Yeah, we
Doctor.
need to use AI responsibly. AI is supposed to be, to the students, I always tell my students, it's supposed to be an assistant to help you understand the concept better, not a content generator. You are asked this question, you get it, you tell me, you just email me the content of AI. You have not learned. It should help you enhance your understanding of a concept, not answering your questions. So you should use AI responsibly.
Yeah.
Number two.
1 minute.
Oh.
Yeah, please. Number 2, but very short.
Yes.
You take the time of a special envoy.
Yeah. So it's let us embrace AI. AI is the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Melissa?
My parting words will be to facilitate curriculums that work best with different faculties or departments in the education forum. That's my take.
Yeah, thank you for that. Emilian?
So I don't think AI will replace all of us, some of us, yes, but not all of us. But I strongly believe that the people who don't use AI today will be replaced by the people who use AI.
Thank you. Eli?
Thank you. Mine is for the innovators in the room and the students, leverage existing tools instead of reinventing the wheel. I think that would also still contribute to growth in the innovation ecosystem. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and we can appreciate our panelists. Thank you. Our MC is coming back for the appreciation. I don't know if we have a photo session or not on the stage. Very brief photo session, and then we can have the vote of thanks. Maybe we can invite maybe the AFD country director with French ambassador. Yes, please, if you can come, Professor Jacob. Maybe you can join. So Professor Jacob is also one of our guests from University Paris-Saclay, running a master in artificial intelligence. So you can also ask him questions after the session. Yeah, thank you. Thank you again, and back to the MC. The mic is here.
All right, we've come to the tail end of the conference. I'm sure all of us have gotten something. I'm sure for me, I've gotten a lot. I've gotten that we need to use AI. You can't be left behind. And for academics, we need to, of course, encourage use of AI, but you also need to assist in building those tools of AI so that you can have data that is Afrocentric, so that if you go, if someone is trying to get what you are told, you can do a blood test and upload it, and it tells you some advice. You then get advice from someone who's not like you, so that you have it contextualized. Yes. So now we'd like to have Dr. Almas to give, to give thanks to all of us. She has championed a lot of gender inclusivity efforts in AI. That's why I've asked her to come and take this opportunity to give thanks to all of us. Thank you.
Okay. Is it good afternoon, everyone? So as our chair said, I'm from the same department, Computing and Informatics, and my name is Dr. Almas Johannes. Everybody's talking about AI. In fact, this morning I was also from another session between, the US, yeah, the government, Kenya School of what, remind me? Yeah. So they were all, it was a 60-year, the US has been doing technology, literacy course and all that. So everybody is talking about AI. So it's something for the future, so we can all not be left behind. For the students, as they said, use it responsibly. Otherwise, somebody else said it will be brain atrophy. You not gain knowledge by just copying and pasting your assignments, okay? So for me, I would like to say all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. As we conclude this significant event, I'm honored to express our heartfelt gratitude to the remarkable individuals and groups whose support and contributions have made this event on AI for the future a success. And also congratulations on the launch of the Kenya AI strategy this morning. And first, I would like to thank His Excellency Amon Suke from the French Embassy to Kenya for your presence and support, and also your commitment to fostering international partnerships is invaluable to us. And of course, to leverage technology for national development. We appreciate that. I would also like to extend my appreciation to our Professor Ayub, who represented our VC, Professor Margaret Hutchinson. And a special thanks also goes to Philip Thigo, is it Thiga? Thigo, the special envoy for technology for Kenya, for your insights and guidance as we navigate these complications of integrating technology into our national framework. So we are counting on your expertise. Also, I'd like to thank Professor Timothy Waema and the Professor Pascal for your enlightening insights, your presentations, So we hope we will be able to use your knowledge in the field of AI. So that was I would also like to thank the panelists. I'm hoping they were all here: David Segera, Philip Thiga, Melissa, Eli, and Emilian. Yeah. So especially for some of them, I think they talked about we as a Department of Computer Informatics, we're looking at how we can engage with industry. So we are hoping you can take on our students in this field of AI. So thank you so much for giving us your invaluable time here, the panelists. And also I'd like to thank all the deans and from the Faculty of Science and Technology, from the Faculty of Engineering, and everybody else from the University of Nairobi. And also the students. We'll be nowhere without our students. We'd like to thank you, the students, for making the time to be here, and the technical team that made this session to be possible. So I hope I thanked everybody. I did not leave anybody behind. Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to thank Mark Zolba for logistic arrangements with the advancement team. Okay, I left that one by mistake. Yes. So thank you so much. We really appreciate this, and we are hoping more ladies will get into this AI space. We are all AI experts, but we want people to be more experts in, especially the ladies, in AI. Thank you.